Amaka, 19, stepped out of the taxi, her heart thumping with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. Abuja Senior High School spread before her, a sprawling compound of red-bricked classrooms, manicured lawns, and tall, round trees swaying in the warm afternoon breeze. She carried a small suitcase and a modest school bag, reminders of her mother's meticulous packing and her father's gentle warnings. "Stay focused," he had said, "and remember who you are." She repeated those words silently as she walked across the courtyard, the sound of students' laughter mingling with the occasional honk of a motorcycle from the nearby road. Her new hostel stood at the far end of the campus. The building was modest but well kept, with peeling paint on the stair railings and a slightly creaky wooden door that opened into the common room. Inside, two older girls were already seated on the beds, chatting animatedly. Busy, 20, had a tall, confident posture, her uniform neat but accessorized with bright beads and earrings that drew attention. Amara, also 20, had a mischievous sparkle in her dark brown eyes and a playful grin that made Amaka both nervous and intrigued. They glanced up at her arrival, their expressions oscillating between curiosity and amusement. "Ah, you must be the new student," Busy said, standing and extending her hand. Her voice was bright and warm, though it carried the unmistakable confidence of someone used to being in control. Amaka shook it gently, feeling the energy radiating from the taller girl. "Welcome. I'm Amaka," she replied softly, clutching her bag a little too tightly. Amara leaned forward, her grin widening. "Finally. Another fresh face. You'll love it here. We can show you everything, the best places to eat, hang out, and maybe a few secret spots." She winked, but Amaka couldn't tell if it was meant as a joke or a warning. The room itself was small, with two single beds pushed against opposite walls, a shared desk near the window, and a worn-out carpet that did little to muffle the sounds of the bustling hostel. Amaka placed her suitcase near the bed and glanced at the ceiling fan slowly spinning overhead. The atmosphere felt lively yet overwhelming, and she wondered if she could ever truly fit in with such bold personalities. Busy and Amara began giving her a tour of the room, demonstrating how the lockers worked, where to keep snacks, and how to sign up for laundry duty. Amaka listened attentively, occasionally nodding, occasionally smiling, feeling the tension of being both welcomed and slightly out of place. She noticed subtle details, their coordination in movements, the way they seemed to anticipate each other's jokes, the silent hierarchy of their friendship. As the sun began to dip behind the trees, painting the sky in streaks of orange and purple, Amaka sat on her bed quietly, watching her new roommates chatter and plan the evening. A pang of longing and anxiety intertwined inside her. She wanted to belong, but she also sensed that fitting in might demand compromises she wasn't yet ready to make. For the first time since arriving, she questioned if excitement and acceptance were worth the hidden costs she might face. That night, as the lights dimmed across the hostel and whispers filled the corners, Amaka lay awake, reflecting on the first day. She thought of her parents, their sacrifices, and the promise she had made to herself to stay true to her goals. Somewhere deep down, she knew that the choices she made now would define her future at Abuja Senior High School. The following morning, Amaka awoke to the soft sunlight filtering through the hostel window. The room smelled faintly of laundry detergent and polished wood. She stretched, adjusting the fold of her uniform, and glanced at her roommates. Busy was already up, organizing her textbooks in neat stacks, while Amara sat cross-legged on the bed, scrolling through her phone and occasionally laughing at something on the screen. Amaka felt a mixture of admiration and unease. They seemed so confident, so effortlessly in control of their world. "Good morning," Busy called, her voice echoing slightly off the dorm walls. Breakfast is almost ready. Want to come with us? Amaka nodded, following them down the hostel corridor, her shoes tapping softly on the worn tiles. The air outside was crisp, carrying the scent of freshly cut grass from the school grounds. Students bustled past in neat uniforms, exchanging greetings, carrying books, or rushing to morning classes. Everything felt alive and chaotic, a stark contrast to the quiet order of her previous school. At the dining hall, the three girls found a table near the window. Plates of akara, fried plantain, and soft bread had been laid out, along with mugs of steaming hot cocoa. Amaka took her seat, feeling a slight nervousness as she observed the interaction between her roommates. Busy gestured broadly while speaking, punctuating her words with laughter, while Amora leaned back, tilting her head and grinning in agreement. "You like it here," Amora said, leaning toward Amaka. "It's fun, sometimes crazy, but you get used to it." Amaka nodded politely. "I hope so. It's different from what I'm used to." Busy smiled knowingly. "Different can be good. Keeps life interesting. Just don't get too serious all the time, you'll burn out." After breakfast, the three walked toward the classrooms. Along the way, Busy pointed out the library, the science lab, and the sports complex, giving Amaka a quick orientation. Amaka listened carefully, mentally cataloging the information. She appreciated the effort but couldn't shake the subtle tension beneath their easy charm. Their conversations often hinted at late-night activities, off-campus gatherings, and social circles that Amaka knew she was not yet ready to explore. At the start of the first class, the teacher called attendance. Amaka noticed Busy and Amora exchanging glances, a silent understanding between them. During the lesson, Amaka focused on her notes, trying to keep up, but she kept sneaking glances at her roommates, wondering how they could balance such energy with their studies. Their confidence intimidated her, yet it also sparked curiosity. Later, during the break, the roommates invited her to sit under a tree near the assembly ground. They shared stories about previous years, about teachers' quirks, and how students had cleverly navigated rules to their advantage. Amaka laughed occasionally, but a small knot of worry lingered. While the stories were entertaining, she sensed that some choices were risky, and the consequences could be severe. By the end of the day, Amaka felt both exhilarated and exhausted. She had made a friend in Busy and Amora, yet she realized that friendship came with subtle pressures. The question forming in her mind was whether she could remain herself while being part of their world. As she returned to the hostel, she resolved to observe carefully and choose her steps wisely, knowing that the first week of school could set the tone for the entire year. By the end of the first week, Amaka had settled into a rhythm at Abuja Senior High School. Classes, meals, and study periods followed a predictable pattern, yet the whispers and excitement from her roommates, Busy and Amora, never ceased. Their confidence and social freedom fascinated her, stirring curiosity she hadn't felt in years. Despite her cautious nature, she couldn't help wondering what life outside the structured routine of the hostel felt like. One late afternoon, as the sun dipped low and cast long shadows across the campus, Busy and Amora burst into the room, laughing and waving their phones. "You won't believe the invite we got," Busy exclaimed, practically bouncing on her feet. Amora leaned against the wall, smirking. "It's a lounge in Woos. Live music, food, all-night vibes. Everyone's going." Amaka's heart skipped. "Everyone? But, aren't we supposed to stay in the hostel after evening prep?" "Rules are guidelines, not shackles," Busy said with a wink. "Come on, Amaka. Don't be so serious. One night out won't hurt. Amaka hesitated, her instincts warning her. She knew her parents wouldn't approve of her leaving school grounds without permission, and something about sneaking out felt wrong. Yet the excitement in her roommate's eyes, the thrill of forbidden adventure, tugged at her resolve. Part of her wanted to join them, just to experience the world beyond the hostel walls. Amora noticed her hesitation. You don't want to be left behind, do you? Life isn't just about books and rules. Sometimes, you have to make your own fun. She leaned closer, lowering her voice. Trust me, you'll be glad you came. Everyone does it. Amaka felt torn. The weight of peer pressure pressed against her conscience. She thought of her parents' sacrifices, the strict but fair upbringing they had given her, and the sense of security she felt in following the rules. But the desire to belong, to feel the freedom her roommates seemed to enjoy effortlessly. That evening, the three girls sat on the hostel balcony. The city lights shimmered in the distance, blending with the orange glow of the setting sun. Busy and Amora chatted animatedly about what they would wear, the routes to take, and the fun spots they had scoped. Amaka nodded occasionally, careful not to reveal the inner conflict she felt. She wanted to belong but knew that one impulsive decision could alter her path. Later, alone on her bunk, Amaka reflected deeply. She recognized the thrill of curiosity and the allure of social acceptance, yet she also felt the shadow of consequences looming. There was power in restraint, she realized, and wisdom in understanding the risks before giving in. While Busy and Amora embodied freedom and boldness, Amaka understood that her own journey required careful navigation. By the time lights were switched off across the hostel, Amaka had made a silent decision. She would watch, observe, and learn from her roommates' choices without immediately following them. Curiosity could be tempered with caution, she reminded herself, and a single impulsive night out would not define her. The balance between adventure and prudence became her guiding thought as she drifted to sleep, ready for whatever the school year would bring next. The next few days brought a mix of routine and tension for Amaka. Classes, prep sessions, and meals continued as normal, but the atmosphere in the hostel subtly shifted. Busy and Amora's teasing became more pointed, often wrapped in humor but carrying underlying pressure. Whenever Amaka expressed caution or hesitated to join their plans, the girls would roll their eyes or joke about her being too old-fashioned. Their words, though playful on the surface, left tiny cracks in her confidence. One morning during breakfast, Amaka poured cocoa into her mug while Busy leaned across the table. You really need to loosen up, you know, she said with a grin. If you don't start enjoying yourself, you'll miss out on life. School isn't everything. Amaka forced a small smile, nodding politely. Inside, a quiet unease stirred. She appreciated her roommate's concern in some ways, but their idea of fun felt reckless, and she worried about where it might lead. Later, as the three walked across the school compound to their next class, Amora casually mentioned a late-night gathering in Woods. Everyone from our floor is going, she said, nudging Amaka playfully. You can't sit this one out. You'd regret it. Amaka's steps faltered for a moment, but she replied evenly, I'll think about it. Her voice carried calm, yet her heart raced. She knew the invitation was both a test of friendship and a subtle challenge to her values. During break, Amaka found herself observing the other students in the schoolyard. Groups clustered together, sharing gossip, exchanging snacks, and joking loudly. Some of her classmates had already joined social circles similar to Busy and Amora's. Amaka realized how much influence peer pressure could exert, not just overtly but subtly, shaping decisions before one even recognized it. She wondered if resisting would alienate her completely or if she could maintain her independence without losing the chance to make friends. In the evening, Busy and Amaka returned from their small excursion in town, faces flushed with excitement. They described their adventures with animated gestures, sharing snippets of music, food, and laughter. Amaka listened, laughing at appropriate moments, but she could not shake the sense of unease. The stories, though thrilling, hinted at risks she could not ignore: unknown streets, strangers, and situations that could easily spiral out of control. Alone on her bunk that night, Amaka reflected deeply. The thrill of companionship and social freedom was seductive, yet the cost could be high. She recognized that friendship often came with invisible expectations, subtle nudges, and implied obligations. The challenge, she realized, was to find a balance, remaining true to her values while learning to navigate social pressures without alienating herself entirely. By the time lights dimmed across the hostel, Amaka had made a silent resolution. She would observe her roommates and their choices carefully, learning from their experiences without surrendering her judgment. She understood that maturity involved discerning which battles to fight, which invitations to accept, and which paths to avoid. The quiet hum of the hostel and the distant city lights outside her window became a reminder. Her journey at Abuja Senior High School was as much about inner strength as it was about academics. Friday arrived with a sweltering heat that made the Abuja Senior High School campus shimmer under the late afternoon sun. Amaka moved through the hallways in her uniform, clutching her books tightly, her mind preoccupied with the previous night's conversation. Busy and Amaka were unusually excited that morning, whispering and giggling as they exchanged notes with classmates. Amaka sensed that the day would be different, though she did not yet know how. During lunch, Busy slid her notebook across the table toward Amaka. "So, we have an invite tonight," she said, grinning broadly. Amaka looked at her in surprise. "An invite? From whom?" she asked cautiously. Amaka leaned over, eyes sparkling with mischief. "To a private lounge in Woos. Live music, good food, everyone from our floor is going. It's going to be fun. You can come, or you can sit here with the boring old books." Amaka swallowed nervously, glancing at her mug of cocoa. Her instinct screamed caution. The hostel rules were clear: students were to remain on campus after prep sessions. Stepping outside without permission could result in serious consequences. Yet the pull of curiosity and the desire to fit in gnawed at her resolve. Busy's eager eyes and Amaka's playful smile made the invitation hard to ignore. She hesitated. I don't know," she muttered. "I don't think it's a good idea." Busy's grin widened. "Come on, Amaka. One night won't hurt. Life isn't just about studying. Sometimes you have to experience the world outside these walls." Amaka added, "You'll thank us later." Everyone goes. Don't be the one who regrets staying behind. Their words, while light-hearted, carried subtle pressure. Amaka felt the invisible tug, the unspoken expectation that she join them. The afternoon dragged on. Every class, every lesson, felt slower as Amaka wrestled with her thoughts. She thought of her parents, the careful life they had guided her through, and the promise she had made to stay disciplined. But she also felt the lure of belonging, the allure of adventure, and the simple wish to be part of the excitement. Her mind was a battleground of reason and temptation. When evening fell, Busy and Amaka returned to the hostel room, changing quickly into casual outfits that shimmered under the dim lights. They hummed with energy, laughing and making plans for the night. Amaka observed them quietly, her heart pounding. She realized this was the first real test of her independence and judgment since arriving at Abuja Senior High School. The choice was hers alone, and it would set the tone for everything that followed. Alone later on her bunk, Amaka reflected on the tug-of-war between her curiosity and her caution. She recognized that her roommate's freedom came at a cost, unseen risk she wasn't ready to confront. With careful thought, she made a decision: she would not follow them that night. Instead, she would observe from a safe distance, learning lessons without surrendering her values. The quiet resolve gave her a sense of empowerment. She understood that true strength sometimes meant saying no, even when the world around her seemed to say yes.